Okay, all right. We don't. You can start it.
Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
Okay. Let us continue on where we left off. So this one we already done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
you went out hunting on okay, that's a father, right?
Yes.
So we already done that. And we got into the defilement madness. We already done this. Okay. What do you think? We do this already?
Yes. Okay, there's always the kill sheet. Yeah, we did that too. The is not is, and I think it's also. I think we're right here. I think we're there.
Yeah, that's right. We are right here. Yep. Go ahead.
O great king, matter, rupa, is non-eternal. The causal relations of matter are also non-eternal. How could matter, which arises out of an impermanent cause, be eternal? This applies down to consciousness, which is non-eternal, and the causal relations of consciousness are also non-eternal. How could the consciousness that arises out of impermanent causes be eternal? Due to impermanence, there arises suffering. Due to suffering, what there is void. Due to void, what there is non-self. If there are impermanence, suffering, void, and non-self, what does one kill? If impermanence is killed, what there is eternal nirvana. If suffering is killed, one must gain bliss. If the void is killed, one must gain the real. If the non-self is killed, one must gain the true self. Great king, if impermanence, suffering, the void, and non-self are killed, you must be equal to me. I too killed impermanence, suffering, the void, and non-self. And I am not in hell. How could you fall into hell?
Okay, good.
Sorry, I'm late.
Thank you. Thank you. You still early. Okay, we just started. I have an internet problem, so okay. All right, go ahead, William.
So this part starts off with recognizing the impermanence of matter. And, I immediately think of scientific understanding, and with the, the idea of the Big Bang and the relationship of energy and matter. It seems that our understanding of matter aligns with that matter can be returned to energy. And so that, matter itself is impermanent. All atoms gradually decay as well. So, and then the causes of matter, right, are impermanent. So matter will fall away, but then consciousness itself. And so that's an interesting one, because contemplating no consciousness, the consciousness being impermanent, I think it kind of takes us to the end of like what we can know with our.
Somehow we cannot hear you. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me?
I think
There we
I
go.
think the Thai the master have a problem with his internet. Yeah, you sound clear to me. How you been doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
I
Now,
good.
like your hairstyle.
can you hear me?
Thank you. Yeah. We're
Can
all
you
on the
hear
same
me?
page now. So yes, I can hear you now, Tay.
Yeah, somehow my connection is really terrible.
So the no problem. The first part I read does kind of pose a question for me that maybe if I reflected, maybe I would come up with some sort of answer, but I'm certainly curious about, I'd like to hear your explanation. That, right, consciousness, I get it. Consciousness is impermanent. That especially makes sense to me for like eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, like thinking mind, because those all really like work through physical components that can fall away. Now, the Buddha nature, which like the essence of the consciousness, my understanding is that is the Buddha nature, like the essence of it. But here it says consciousness is impermanent. So the Buddha nature is an element that gives rise to consciousness, but it's before consciousness. And is in this case, then consciousness is when there's a split between self and other. So if there's no split, it's not considered consciousness. Is that true?
Oh, okay. All right. Make sure we understand what is consciousness. Then we can talk about the Arya consciousness, right? So you're talking about the five faculty, right? The eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, and the body.
Like those consciousness, it's very easy for me to see how they are impermanent.
Actually, yeah, that's correct. And the mind, right? You can tell that thinking, right?
And
Remember,
even the manas is easy for me to see how it's impermanent.
right?
But then when I consider like the Buddha, so the Buddha is beyond birth and death. The Buddha nature is impermanent. So that consciousness is impermanent kind of leads me to the question of how do we describe the state of the Buddha? We wouldn't describe the Buddha as like how, yeah, with respect to consciousness.
Okay. And now before we go to that point, okay. To the five faculty include the mind, the brain. So the brain control the five sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the physical body. This is all the brain and the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, and the body. This is all the physical organ, right? The physical organ doesn't it doesn't matter. It's not the consciousness. Make sure you understand that.
Right. Yes.
The five sense and the brain itself is not consciousness. But why do we call eye consonant, ear consonant, tongue consonant, body consonant, and the no consonant? Why? And the mind consonant. Why is that? Even the mana consonant. Why we label those one is a consonant when it's only physical body?
Because it's because we're conscious of them. I would think because we're conscious of the things we see, the things we smell.
Okay. The brain, right? It control entire body, movement, feeling, whatever relate to the body. right? The mind, the brain control. But the brain itself is just the piece of meat, nothing else, just a bone. But remember, what make the brain become the consonant, we call the mind consonant. Then the mind consonant, it connect with all the body. Then we call the eye consonant, the ear consonant here and there. That's where that comes from. It's just like when you see the electricity, right? You don't see it directly. But if you can see the electricity through the electronic component, the light bulb, the laptop, the TV, the refrigerator, whatever we use for electricity, we can see electricity through those components. Let's say that when the electricity go to the light bulb, we call the light bulb. We use the name light bulb. At the label of with the electricity, or we can call electronic light bulb. Computer, we call inside the computer, we have many electronic components. They are interconnected. And when the electricity flow through, and when we turn on the computer, that means we turn on the switch for the electricity to flow through. Then this thing will make everything interconnect and it works very well. Then we call those parts electronic component which contain electricity. I hope I give you some kind of description, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when one of the, let's say the power source of the computer, that's where we connect the cord, right? The supply, or the power cord into it. The power source inside the laptop is broken. Even though you plug in the power cord, nothing works, right? So that means the electricity is not flow through all the electronic component. Then it becomes the worst, it's just a piece of metal, nothing else, right? So when we still alive, right? When we see, when we hear, when we smell, when we taste, when we touch, the mind becomes thinking. The mind is the brain. The brain doesn't know how to think. But the brain, it has the structure well connected, just like the wire. Remember, all the nerves, right? They connect to the brain and run along the spinal cord. It connects to the entire body. Just like you look at the computer, inside the computer, what they do, the motherboard, they have the schematic. That means all the wire, it's wire connect with into all the component onto that. That means the CPU, the processor, the hard drive, the memory, all those stuff, right? So when we turn on, the electricity, it flows through it. Just like when we think, the consciousness is the one go through the structure of the body and make the brain to think and send all the signal. Just like the computer do the same thing. Then now the eye be able to distinguish about whatever they see, right? Not the eye know it, but the consciousness knows. Not the eye consciousness, but we give the name eye consciousness, but actually the consciousness come from where? Alaya consciousness. Remember, even the manna consciousness is not really a consciousness. The eye consciousness is not really the eye consciousness. We have only one consciousness, which is the Alaya consciousness. Then we divide, when we give the different name for each part of the body, we give the eye at the eye consonant, the ear at the ear consonant, the nose at the nose consonant, so we can distinguish, easy for us to communicate when we're talking about this thing. Does that make sense?
Yes, Tay.
This is important. So when you understand that, When in Buddhism, even though we have 8 main consciousness, but actually it's only one with a alaya consciousness, nothing else. Without alaya consciousness, there is no other 7 consciousness. Remember, the 6 consciousness, then the brain and the entire body construction come from the power of karma. And the power of karma is the content of the alaya consciousness. But the power of karma means the action of the mind, the mouth, and the body, and become the content of the alaya consciousness. And this will create, when we inside the mother womb, right? It will create the fetus, physical and the body, physical and the mental. For the future, the body structure will work when we have the constant flow to it. I hope that that helps.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I correct me if I misunderstand. So a lot of our analogies that we use will kind of like match up for one part. It may not be perfect for every part. So like in the analogy of the electricity, the energy flowing through is like the consciousness working with the matter of the body. I think makes total sense. I love that analogy. When I think about the creation of the body, I'll wait till you.
Thầy thách qua đi, thầy thách qua.
Like with the.
Có gì thầy thách qua cho biết đang dạy học. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So in the creation of the body, the consciousness actually is what's also, like, unlike a computer in that case, the consciousness is what's creating the body too.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
The consciousness in this case, the content of the consciousness, the alaya consciousness, is the power of the karma. That is the content. So,
Mo Phật Thầy, let me kind of clear myself a minute, please. So, I was thinking a while back, you was mentioned the Nirvana, they don't have a alaya consciousness. Is that correct? Or no? Yeah.
No.
Nirvana
is a different thing.
No. I'm not talking about Nirvana. I'm talking about Theravada.
Theravada tradition.
Yeah. Yes, tradition. And then if I remember correctly, at one time that you mentioned that it doesn't have a alaya consciousness.
That's correct.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, that's correct. They have only 6 consciousness. The first 6 consciousness, that means the 5 sense, as well as the mind consciousness, that means the brain.
Correct.
But they do not have the mana and the alaya consciousness. They don't believe into it because at that time, in the Theravada Sutra, the Buddha have not yet spoken about that.
So what we're talking about here, it doesn't apply to them?
Yeah, to them, they don't believe the last 2 consonants. Yeah, that's correct.
So whatever that we talk about right now for, human nature, when we go into the karma, and then it's supposed to be our consciousness, alaya, supposed to be kicking in to make us whatever the past is. But in Nirvana, if they don't believe that, so what do they believe? How do they apply the consciousness?
Okay, you have a very good. You raised a very good question here. Actually, what they did, what they believe is the mind consciousness. It's more deep into it. That means they have some function of the alaya consciousness. But when they try to explain, I don't think they will give you the complete picture, because it's very tough to explain in that way.
Yep. But I agree with you, and then I understood that how we learn in the alaya consciousness, it does make more sense than in Nirvana if they don't believe in that consciousness.
Actually, they also wrote many satcha tức là luận á. They describe the six consonants very well, even very well, but they not be able to give the complete understanding the way we try to explain. And remember the one who you remember the Asanga, right? Asanga.
Yeah.
William, you know
Yes.
Asanga?
Asanga?
No, Asanga. ASSANGA. Okay, let me pull up.
I don't remember.
Ngày phô trước á, ngày phô trước. Let me pull this thing out.
Okay. I have another questions.
Okay,
in Mayana, we believe in when carnations.
you mean the Mahayana, right?
Yeah, Mahayana. Yes, we believe in carnation in like a 7-week cycle.
Oh, you mean the border state, right? The border state.
Yes, yes. But
yeah.
in Devana, they not believe in that though. So
yeah, that's correct. That is correct. Okay, hold on.
The question why?
Okay, I will explain to you why.
So they don't think that the carnation cycle is go through that path.
They do. They believe in the reincarnation. They believe in rebirth. That's correct. But the way they explain, they a little bit different from the Mahayana. Okay.
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 Dạ,
Here.
con Phật thầy. Cảm ơn thầy.
All right. From the consciousness only lineage, right? It comes from Bodhisattva Maitreya. This is the future Buddha. And
Yes.
the Bodhisattva and Sangha, he learned from this Bodhisattva. And his brother, right? His brother, this is his stepbrother, Vasu Bandhu, right? Learn from him. Actually, his stepbrother, before he converted into Mahayana, he was Theravada.
Okay.
He wrote 500 satcha, tức là 500 luận á. Slander the Mahayana teaching. Tức là phỉ bán á.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. Got it.
Then his older brother Asanga, he saw that, and he did not want his younger brother keep doing that. So what he did, he pretended to be very sick, near death, right? And he sent a letter to his younger brother that his last wish, I would like to see you and help you to recite the sutra for me. So when he arrived, and he told his younger brother that, okay, can you recite these 3 main Mahayana sutra? That means the Adornment Flower Sutra, the Sangama Sutra, and the third one is the Dhamma Flower Sutra. You know what? He did not like to do that, but because for his brother, he do it anyway. When he read it, he realized the Mahayana teaching is beyond the Theravada teaching. And therefore, he turned to his brother, that he kneeled out in front of his brother, that he want to cut his tongue to repay for the karma that he break by slander, the Mahayana teaching. Does that make sense, William?
Yes, I recall you've told the story before. I didn't remember the name of Asanga. But then Vasubandhu went on to write the Doorway to the 100 Dharmas.
Yeah, that is the one we started learning from him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the 100 Dharma Satra come from him, from Vatsu Bandhu. That's what we learn, the consciousness only.
Mhm.
And well, the Asanga, he said that, well, if you are using your tongue to slander Mahayana teaching, now you are using your tongue to praise the Mahayana teaching, then that will help you to repay your karma. Then you know what? He wrote another 500 satra to praising the Mahayana teaching. Then that's why he have a name of 1,000 satra. He become the second patriarch of the consonant only in the lineage.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is important. So because actually after he understand it, actually he begin to learn about the consonant only. Compare between the Mahayana teaching and the Theravada teaching, he saw that the Theravada teaching have the flaw in the teaching. It's not complete. Doesn't mean it's a flaw. It's not a flaw, but it's not complete. Because the Buddha did not teach the whole thing yet. Because at their level, the Buddha don't want to add more complicated. Right? Just like when you, if you are the PhD, and if you are going to teach the elementary school, right? You don't want to bring the high school level or middle school level, come down there and teach them. They cannot be able to understand it. Not even talking about a high school or college, right? You bring those level down there and teach for the kid, of course they cannot be able to understand it. They will run away from you. So that's why the Buddha is not ready for that. And eventually he teach more and more. That's why there are 5 periods of the sutra teaching during the 45 years of the Buddha teaching. Okay. So anyway, now I come back to your question. In the Mahayana, in the Theravada, they do not believe the 49-day period in the body state because they don't believe in the Alaya consciousness. There is no storage. The consciousness store, how it's not there. So what does that mean? It means that when a person passes away, they will immediately rebirth. Does that make sense, Jimmy?
Yeah, Mô Phật Bà Thầy. Yes, I do believe that, but is there any theory or practices we can show them what they're thinking it wasn't the correct path when the people they rebirth right away?
Think about it. Because the way they believe it's not complying with the law of cause and effect in Buddhism. The law of cause and effect in Buddhism, they have 3 components: the cause, the condition, and the effect.
Correct. What? Okay, but if they not believe in those cause, condition, and effect, so how?
I know they do believe that. I think they do believe that too.
Oh,
They do believe in the law of cause and effect in the way we did. But the problem is, they think that when we die, right, we rebirth right away. That means there is no condition.
so that law of effect doesn't apply into that scenario. What you mean?
It's not well applied. It's not well demonstrated the law of cause and effect in the in the Theravada teaching relate to the consonant, the 6 consonant only. Does that make sense, William? Does that make sense to you? Everything will take time.
Yes.
Think about this. When a person dies, right? For the alaya consciousness to leave the body, it's not easy. Sometime in the Tibetan, they said that 36 hours. But in the US, we don't want to say to the hospital that I want to keep the body 36 hours. No way, Jose. So 8 hours, good enough. So that's why because the reason is, the more they attach to the worldly, right, material and family, the more they stay in the body. But eventually, this body is no longer work. They have to leave the body anyway, because this body becomes rotten and decay. That means the alaya, it have no place to stay, right? They have to leave. With that concept, so the Theravada teaching cannot be able to tell me how that works.
Yeah, if I think about it, what the Theravada thinking that when the body stays, when they pass away, they go to reincarnation right away, because that the body will not attach to anything after that they leave, and when they're gone. That's how I think it.
Well,
maybe.
Do you think it's easy for us to detach from the family?
No.
One to the material before we leave?
No.
When we pass away, do you think that we can be able to detach easily? Oh, no.
No. Unless you are Alahang, or
yeah, that's right.
or Buddha, can you go to
Or the
Nevada?
Bodhisattva, right?
Yeah, or Bodhisattva. That's a different story. But
Yeah,
we are human nature, and we create more karma than
Think about it. When, let's say that our kids, right, when they grow up and they want to go far for their education, do you think that we very easy to let them go without emotion? No, we do have emotion, right?
Yes,
Our
agree.
children. And when
Yes.
they leave, we still have a very emotional attachment to it. Now I'm talking about when we die. It's not easy.
So
remember
we
the Theravada, because the Theravada they have the fixed view. It's not easy for them to change.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What you say? They're not going to change?
No, they don't want to change. They don't want to hear anything from the Mahayana teaching. They never look into. They not even take a look into what the Mahayana teaching. What is it? They already say that this did not really come from the Buddha.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they're very conservative.
When we have that mindset, right? Do you think you'll be able to learn anything from when, if we have the mindset that we don't want to hear or see or learn anything that not in the Theravada teaching? The one we have that mindset, we cannot learn anything.
Understood. Thank you, Thầy. Yeah, more fun.
Just like when we have our own view, right? We're holding on our view. It's not easy for us to learn outside the box. Right, William?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so now come back to your question about Buddha nature, right? And the constant, is that the same thing?
But I would say no, because as I was thinking about it too, that in the Heart Sutra, they talk about, even consciousness itself being empty, that this distinction of consciousness, of like someone being conscious and there's something to be conscious of, you've described that in the past as that's like, it's false thinking, that idea of separation. So that a state without consciousness doesn't mean there's no awareness then.
Okay. The consciousness is not the real thing, right? But it's real. It's not real, but it's real. Why?
Kind of like anything else, right? Like we could call a table, and there's a reason for that. But then really it's not a table until someone called it that. And so it's not inherently that.
So basically, to the common people like us, if we don't learn Buddhism, we look at everything is real. It's not illusion. Then it's real. To them, it's real. But if we understand the Buddhism teaching and we constantly contemplate, well, it's not real. Therefore, we not suffer. It's not real because they know true self. That's what it's not real. But it doesn't mean that we ignore them. No, we do acknowledge them and we do go through with it. Because we not yet fully enlightened. But we only enlightened from the teaching, from the word, but not through the practice yet. So the wisdom comes from word, but not come from practice. Not yet. So, but at least with the word, we be able to contemplate it. We have less suffering. Then when we practice it, then that means our mind will come to the state that no distinguish. That means no thought arise. This is in the Heart Sutra, they say that even the concept is not real. Well, when it returns back to the nature, then just the nature by itself. In the nature by itself, there is no consciousness, there is no ignorance, there is no eye, ear, no tongue, or whatever. Nothing. There is no wisdom.
Is that, it seems that there could be a distinction in meanings when we talk about, like, you know, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. And the impermanence of form, because, like, you know, a flower, when it is in its full bloom, right, it's still emptiness, and that emptiness is still the flower, but that flower is impermanent. So then it will wilt, and the form changes, and to the point where we no longer call it a flower. So when we say consciousness itself is impermanent, and we think of the root of our consciousness being the alaya, and the root of the alaya being the original nature, we just can't say that the original nature, like, is consciousness. No. So that's why consciousness, like, the alaya itself, an individual's alaya itself, can kind of wilt and disintegrate like a flower can.
Okay. No? We cannot say the Buddha nature is the consciousness. But the consciousness itself cannot arise without Buddha nature. Just like in the empty sky, right? We have all things phenomenon. Everything comes from the emptiness. Emptiness is the foundation of everything due to our forethought. Once we return, right? No more for forethought. Then we come to the point that return to the nature. That means the pureness, the purity of the mind.
So is it then the impermanence of consciousness, because when we are enlightened and there's no more consciousness in that setting, that consciousness is seen as emptiness, that's why.
Actually, that is, how about this? When we still are common people, right? Everything comes from the consciousness. Because due to our attachment, due to our ignorance, and the false thinking come up, right? And we try everything is here and there. Once we learn the Buddhist teaching, we understand the four shield, right? Just like you say, the flower, it's there. But we can say that the flower is also emptiness from the contemplation. The reason for that is it's very important. The contemplation, it helps us to decrease the suffering, to detach from it. That's the whole purpose of teaching the Buddha teaching. For this is the fourth seal. That means that impermanent, no self, and also okay, suffering, right? Suffering and impurity and suffering, and impermanent and no self, right? Or they also call emptiness. Basically, it's or no self. So this is fossil. It's on the Theravada teaching. But when we go to the Mahayana teaching, like the Paranirvana, another fossil on top of that. It's called Tịnh Lạc Ngã, Thường Lạc Ngã Tịnh. Okay, permanent, joyful, right? And self, the true self, and purity. It's opposite of the other four, right? So this is that on top of that. Anyway, now we go back to here. We understand that if we look at the flower, right, we contemplate it, we can see the emptiness. Because the flower is impermanent. And the flower do not have the true self, we call no self. And therefore, it really emptiness. Right? It helps us a lot. Now, we look into the decay, right? The flower, later on, they decay, right? They come to the point that no more. Right? All the elements construct the flower. That means the four elements, right? The earth, the water, the fire, and the wind. And the space, it will return to the original element. They decompose, right? They decompose and into original element. That means the earth return to the earth, the water return to the water. This is in the Sanghagama Sutra. The wind return to the wind, the fire return to the fire, and the space return to the space. And it will recycle, right? And now the human, when we're still alive, we look at our body impermanent. The form, that means the body. The feeling is also impermanent. And it's no self, right? No true self. And the perception and the mental formation and consciousness, everything of this one, each one of this is also impermanent and no self. We should detach it. Now, when we die, right? The physical body no longer works. That means the alaya consciousness will detach from it. No longer be able to using the physical body to go to establish the communication. For the eight consciousness, right? Now, alaya consciousness will go back. That means from the material, that means the body, into emptiness. That means the stream of, no, not emptiness, we call into the emptiness into the nothingness, right? We call the stream of consciousness. This is just the stream of consciousness. We cannot say this is emptiness. But the stream consciousness also impermanent. And it have no self, it have no fixed form. Right? In the content of the stream of consciousness, that means the Alaya consciousness, the power of the karma. And the power of karma, that means the habit of what we have. That means we pray good and bad karma in there. Those become the cause for the future rebirth. Even though we have a lot of bad cause, right? Evil deed. But that evil deed definitely give us to the bad effect? No. Therefore, nothing inside the content of the Alaya consciousness will have the fixed form or the determination, right? Nothing. Because depend on the condition. This is important. Because the condition can change that. Just like the King Ajatasatru, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the beautiful teaching of the Buddha. Nothing is fixed. But actually the Buddha make the king have a fixed mind. That means the unsurpassed body mind.
I'm still wondering about the Alaya when we talk about past lives, immeasurable, innumerable past lives. So many, every being has served as our mother or our father. It would seem then that the Alaya consciousness is the through line through all of that. When like a flower wilting and decaying to where it's no longer a flower, that doesn't seem to happen to the Alaya. Because we don't get.
Remember the flower come from where?
You could say it's interdependent. It's a lot of things coming together from a seed, the seed from a previous flower, the elements coming together to make it, like the earth, the water, the sun.
Yeah. Okay, all right. The flower, right? Remember the 7 property?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The first 5 property, that means the earth, the water, the wind, the fire, and the space. Mm-hmm. This will create the natural resource. Remember period or the table?
Yes.
The knowledge, that means the view, in the 6th property, will create phenomena, include flower. That means the flower comes from the view, but the view comes from where? The consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
It's also consciousness. We are the one who create that. Everything you see physically in the world, in the universe, comes from us, because we are the one who create everything. All the creation of the world comes from the mind. Okay, I have to leave because my master wait for me.
Okay.
Okay. But I hope that I give you some kind of understanding.
Yes, I mean, I hope we if we can address it when we come back too, because I still wonder if the Alaya.
Okay, ask me that's for next time. Okay, we can go through that one more time, because this is very tough to proof, right? But at least we can use the science to demonstrate it for you. All right, go ahead. Go on.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Okay, thank you. All right, next 2 weeks, maybe we do not have class
Okay.
because a 10-day retreat, right? Let me see. Maybe Sunday on the 21st we can have the meeting. That's okay. Let me see. Next week. Okay. We only missed 1 week. 21st we still back to we resume the class. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. All right.
It's Mother's Day.
Thank you, Thầy.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Williams, good to see you. Have a good day, bud.
Good to see you too.